So far, so good? Does it be good? Yes? Unless this is my first time in Canada, and the image I had of Canadians is exactly what I found. You guys are nice. Very nice. And I'm French, and I'm Parisian. So if you say, good morning, Paris, and you say, well, my name is not Paris Hilton. I'm like, missing the point here. But thank you for having me, and I'm very excited to give to you some job bomb knowledge. As you can see, I have so many titles, and the new title I've been giving to myself is Brand Experience Futurist. No idea what it means, but my team liked it. So we run a branding and marketing agency, and we work with companies from small as an entrepreneur to an SME or a large organization. And we have really a lot of fun doing it, because when our clients win, I can brag about it. So that makes me really happy. So, like him, you're probably wondering, how is this woman so beautiful? And intelligent at the same time. Or you're probably wondering, what is neuromarketing? I should say, the science of consumer behavior. So we're going to go into details in terms of what it means. So my talks are very interactive, so I'm going to get you to play with me. Are you excited? Yes, that's how I like it. So, why is neuromarketing so relevant? Neuromarketing is so relevant because every day, every year, we're spending a lot of money. Billions of pounds are being spent on techniques or marketing campaigns that don't work. And I think what makes it even funny is when you ask your customers what do they want, they don't even want to tell you the truth sometimes. And they tell you what you want to hear instead of what you need to know to really put together an effective and successful campaign. So one thing I wanted to say before I go further, we're going to play a little game. So what I want you to do, okay, throughout this talk, is take a photo and tell me, of me, of course, yeah, and tell me what did you enjoy the most about my talk. So tag myself and tag Unbounce, and I'm going to give a free session with me where I'm going to tell you how you can increase the value of each conversion, and also some fantastic strategies that you can learn and apply for your business right away. Yes? Sounds good? Yes. Okay. So neuromarketing is one part of obviously neuroscience and big. So we can do as well neurobranding, neurodesign, and also neuromarketing. So this different thing about what I like about neuromarketing is the fact that we can't control our subconscious mind. So if you can understand how it works, you are more likely to have a much more effective campaign. And that's super key. So one thing you need to bear in mind, and I think we need to talk about that, is if you look at the evolution of a relationship with the brands, a lot of things have changed. So I'm going to take an example that everybody recognizes, a brand such as Nike. So if you look at Nike back in the days, the way they presented their brand or the way their campaign was articulated, it was very much about the how. So how do you use a product? How do you put on a trainer? Even something simple as this. Then after that, we moved towards choices, because not everybody wanted to wear exactly the same thing. We wanted to feel a bit more special and wanted to wear something, or sometimes having choices, of wearing more than one thing. And then this is what happened. The malls kicked in. Yes? I don't want to wear a pair of trainers made by the Indian or the African kids somewhere else. That doesn't seem right. What came after that? I'll give you a clue. Simon Sinek. Yes, positioning. The brands didn't talk anymore in terms of how the products work, what the product is about, but why they do it. And that has been the success of Apple. They very much focus on why they do it, it's changing the status quo. And where do you think we are right now? Give you a clue, you're using your phone right now. We are in the era of digital evolution, yes? Because people love to feel like they belong. So I don't know if you came across the tweet from Chick-fil-A and Popeye's Chicken. Did you see the amount of coverage they had for free? They even ran out of chicken, yes? The control is not so much in your hand anymore, it's in the hand of your customers. So when you when you behave or act around your customers as a community and allow them to connect with one another, what happens? They fall in love with you. People always ask me, how do I keep my customers faithful? Look at how far you can go. So it's all about going beyond the expected. What are you doing today that your customer, your clients don't expect you to do? This is a question you need to ask yourself. This is where the money is. This is where the value is. And it's really hard for someone to leave when you give more than they expect. This is a perfect example, Unbound's conference. They don't have to do it, but it feels good to come back every year. Again, something, look at what is their ultimate goals and really focus on that. Does it make sense? Yes? We're going to do something. Does it make sense? Please clap. That's good. Again, another thing I wanted to mention about why neuromarketing is so important, or neuroscience is so important, by asking a question. Raise your hand if you've been with someone you know that they are not good for you, but you still chose to be with them. We've all done it, especially if they have a six-pack. Can't resist. So I wanted to take you to the ecosystem. You've heard about that term, ecosystem, right? Yes? This is how you keep your customers attached to you, but also how do you make every product work against one another, and therefore they don't look elsewhere but working with you. That's what Nike did. Yes? That's what Nike does, should I say. Yes? So look at the app. The app provides music. It allows you to connect with other runners, obviously buy their product and so forth. Simple, another one. Google does it, yes? What are the things that you can do, or innovation that you can bring that allows your customers to touch your product, to touch your brand and different products that you offer so they can stay with you and not look anywhere else? Apple, the king of creating cult around their product. I was talking backstage about how much I tried to resist not buying a Mac, but I had to do it because naturally it was the right evolution. We all feel like that, but it's a great product. So my statement is, innovation should be part of what you do. You should always look in terms of how do you keep innovating the way your brand is, what your brand offers. If you do not look at innovation as part of your company culture, you will be left behind. Did you guys have Blockbuster in Canada? Yes. Where are they now? Yeah? Companies who tell me, this is how we do things here. Ooh. This is not a good sign. Again, something say, I can bring innovation. Think about strategic alliances. Who can you partner with that supply or serve the same clients as you and can help you, again, something, build value. And it doesn't cost you anything, but it makes you look good. Because everybody likes to look good, isn't it? Yeah? So again, an example. I want to show you Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola did obviously a collaboration with, this is not with Karl Lagerfeld, but that's another one. Again, targeting the fashion community. You choose something which is very appealing, but at the same time appeal to the target audience. What do they drink? Because when you go to Fashion Week, nobody eats. Yes? I can tell you that. I was there a couple of weeks ago. They don't eat. I'm like, I'm going to have popcorn. They don't have anything else. So really think about, look at what you bring every day. How often are you bringing innovation in the way you do things? Because the first time I would try an ice cream, a vanilla ice cream, I would be super excited. But if I eat that every day, I want to try something else. I'm going to try chocolate and so forth. Think about how you bring innovation in the way you do things. Does it make sense? Yes. Thank you. It's not often you hear a clap between a talk, but thank you. So think convenience. So I work a lot with companies, tech companies, SaaS and so forth. And what I love is that they are super intelligent, but at the same time, they don't talk normal. Yes? So I try to simplify the language. And again, something say, what is the convenience that you're bringing? When you understand the convenience that you are bringing, the more people will get engaged with what you offer. Are you ready to play? Yes. Okay, me too. Okay, we're going to do a bit of exercise, yes? With your right hand, I want you to draw the number 6 in the air. Well done. Everybody's doing it. You're so good, Canadians. With your right hand, don't stop, please carry on. With your right leg, I want you to go clockwise at the same time, as fast as you can. Yo. You can stop. What happened? So I'm going to ask you this question. Are you in control of yourself? As you feel like you're in control of yourself, the devil entered your body? No, that's not what happened. So let me explain how the brain works. So the brain is divided in three parts. You have the neural cortex, the limbic system, and the reptilian brain. Again, I'm not a scientist, so I'm going to explain to you in a very simple term that everybody can understand. But what I want you to look when you look at this picture is what is the proportion of each part of the brain. So the neural cortex is what you are using right now, which is when you learn new skills and you question your existence. Is there God on earth, or should I believe in global warming? Yes, it's a subject that everybody talk about. Or, anything that requires you much more effort, but also question the existence, question society. The second part of the brain is the limbic system. The limbic system has everything to do with that controls your emotion, how you feel, how you behave. How do you feel? Sexy or not? Yes? So you probably decided if you like me or if you don't like me, and there's nothing I can do about it. That's part of the brain that controls it. The last part of the brain, especially that's how you look after a breakup. It does hurt. I was really worried about the cold season when I came here, but I'm lucky it's still warm. And the last part of the brain is the reptilian brain. I like to call it the lazy brain. The part of this brain, its job is to keep you alive. So it wants you to make safe decisions, which means either you fight or you flight in front of a situation. If there's a bear in front of you, do you try to play, hey, I'm going to try to fight this bear, or I'm going to run? Either way, I think you should always run. Yes? So my question to you is, which part of the brain do you think has the most control? So, well, that's quick. Number one, the neocortex. Number two, the limbic system. And number three, so raise your hand if you think it's the neocortex. Okay. The limbic system. The reptilian brain. Guys, not only you're nice, but you're so intelligent. No offense if people give another answer, yes? So let's play another game. What I want you to do is to read out loud the color, not the word. Are you ready? We're going to do it at the same time. Pink. A plus. Are you ready to do it again? Faster? You ready? Okay. What's going on? I thought you guys were clever. I was planning to move to Canada and everything, but I changed my mind. I'm staying in London. This is what happened. Think about the brain as a massive computer. Yes? When you're trying to make a decision, okay, you make a decision on what you already know. You don't use your neocortex because it requires too much effort. The part of the body that consumes the most energy is the brain. And if you look at the brain itself, as it shows you here, the neocortex has the biggest part. So what your body is trying to tell you to do is to save you by using the reptilian brain. And that's why quite often we go by what we know. And that's why we don't like changes. Does it make sense? Yes? So when it comes to making decisions, the reptilian brain has the biggest impact, and then the limbic system. So this is what I see often, and that's probably the biggest mistakes marketers make, is they try to say, hey, we're losing some customers, how about we bring in a discount? What? You're just losing your value by doing this, and they're always going to ask for more money, and you fall yourself into the wrong loop. So what we're going to do today, I'm going to show you, we can't go through strategy design, but I'm going to focus on marketing, pretending that you have done the first two parts correctly. This is where you need to take a photo. This is a very important slide. Good people, they're so good. So yes, you have 6 stimuli. These are the 6 stimuli to the reptilian brain. Very simple. The first one is self-centered, and you've heard all the speakers talk about how much you need to talk about your clients, not about you. And I see so often, think about the 80-20 rule. When you write a website, you should say you more often than us. Differentiate your claims, demonstrate the gain, and then beginning and end, visual and emotion. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to show you how people with big money do it, and people with a tiny budget can do it as well. So, obviously, you guys don't have Uber here. Yeah? You're lucky. But in Paris, when you jump into a taxi, and if you don't know where you're going, they're going to try to take, not even all like that. Some of them will try to take the longest journey to take you to your destination. And that's a frustration when you don't know how much is it going to cost you, how long is it going to take, and waiting outside if it's raining, that's pretty horrible, yes? So this is what Uber tapped into. They realized that the biggest frustration of anybody, if you look at that girl, the sun is shining on her head, she looks happy, she's relaxed. The world is an oyster, she's happy. So it's very much when you present your marketing or your content, focus on the customer. You should barely talk about you, yes? And this is an example to show you, if you look at the heat map, the amount of also where they place the call to action. Very, very, very strategic. It works. So for example, we didn't talk too much about the fold. When you talk about a website and you look at the fold, you should always have a call to action without people having to scroll down your website. So I want you to think about that. It's super, super important. So what not to do? This, for example, horrible stock photo where everybody has their thumbs up. I've never seen that in my life, but I have no idea. What you see is so often on stock photo website. Instead, really focus on your customer. Go for real photos. That's why, we talked about the era where we are in, which is community, social influencers, whatever it is in B2B or B2C, are super important. We did a campaign like that where it was a brand for mothers and their children. We literally took no photos. All the photos that came online was from the actual customers. And it was so effective. In 2 weeks, we had 7,000 followers and 1,500 people submitted their email address. Bear in mind, we had no brand. It was just a test. Tangible. Look at that plate number. How good is this? I can tell you how good I am, or I can show you. If I was married and divorced, that's definitely the person I would go to. I want that car. Very effective. Same thing, this is a campaign from Ketchup when they launched their hot sauce. I definitely don't want to sit on that seat after that person. But again, it's a very efficient way. People who like spice and flavors will go and buy that. I would definitely tempt to try it. If you have a small budget, let me show you how you can do it. Again, same thing, whatever it is, case studies, visual evidence, graphic and stats, especially if you have statistics that comes from another body than yours, will emphasize the veracity of what you do. Does it make sense? Ooh, good. Do you guys have Lidl in Canada? Lidl is a low discount supermarket. And when you think about low discount, you think poor quality. That's what often how people will associate. If you don't pay much, it's probably not good. So we did an amazing campaign. We've been winning awards for the last 3 or 4 years. And what they did, they actually tested their products. So they had a well-known brand. In this case, that was cheese, but they did another one with ketchup and fries. So they asked people to try the well-known brand, which is Heinz, and then their own brand. What people didn't know is that they swapped the two brands. So people were testing their ketchup, thinking it was the Heinz brand, and say, yes, the best ketchup is definitely this one. 80 out of 100 people say this one. I say, oh, wait a minute, we actually made a mistake. This was the Lidl brand. And you can see people's reaction. Again, something, another way to do it is to really just get people to try, and that's why within SaaS, trying demonstration, ebook, always think as how much can you provide value. If you are a company, you are here to serve first before selling, because it's really hard to say no to somebody who's provided you as much value as possible. Do you agree? Yes? Yeah. I like you guys. Again, something, I don't know why people believe in people in white blouse, but again, if you think about Again, when we bring it back to experts, social influencers in B2B or B2C, can you get an expert in your field who your prospects and customers will always trust to really support your brand? Or again, you can also do PR. I don't know if you know him, but Joe Wicks. Do you know Joe Wicks? Yes? Joe Wicks actually started a fitness brand helping people who didn't have the time. He really knew, understand his audience, who didn't have the time, and would teach you how you can, in 7 minutes, exercise and also cook very quickly. He's now a multimillionaire, and that's how he found himself on the first page of Men's Fitness. Use contrast. Very simple. This was an effective campaign done by Mac, showcasing what kind of person do you want to be. Do you want to be a cool guy, or do you want to be that? Choose. Same thing, Weight Watchers are fantastic. Their campaign, they always show you the before and after, because people need, this is how the brain works. Then you can do the same thing in pricing strategy. Make it easy for people to choose to work with you. And again, things that work really well when it comes to contrast is about how much money can you make. Obviously, talking about money is relevant, especially in B2B, but also appearance and love are key, and freedom. Already one time, we never have enough time. What are really the end goal, the ultimate goals they're trying to reach? When you understand that, you communicate on that, and you're more likely to be more effective. This is very much more related to whatever it is, video campaign or website and so forth, but think about, again, something, remember I told you about the fold, you put your call to action above the fold, and you repeat it at the end. Because it's something we have very short attention span. You're probably not going to remember all the slide, but you remember the key one. The first one is something when you're giving a lot of content, especially you have a long funnel page, you want to keep the most important information at the top, and again, repeat it at the end. Emotions, as I explained, and all the speakers mentioned, were not rational individuals. And there's nothing we can do about it. Why not use emotion? What emotion do you bring? How does it feel to choose your product or services? Who does it impact? Does it go beyond your customer? Does it actually also have an impact on their family? Do you see the full picture? What's funny is that we are more receptive to negative emotion. I was talking about that backstage as well. I was saying, I'm pretty sure that the most selling songs are the sad songs. If you think about Adele, her whole success is based on the sadness. And she's doing really, really well. So what is the sad emotion? What is the pain point again? What is the pain that you're trying to get rid of for your clients? Does it make sense? Yes? I love you. An image is worth 1,000 words, yes? Can you use visual to emphasize the message or get people to take action? This is tough. Imagine doing that when you go shopping. It would be criminal not to give anything. So again, as I did, I'm going to repeat the most important information. If you didn't get a chance to take a photo of that slide, first, understand their pain and emphasize that. It's never about you. We are all selfish to some degree and some level. There's selfish, there's good selfish, as if I'm donating money to a charity, and there's bad selfish. So think about what exactly your clients are trying to achieve and how you're understanding their pain. Differentiate your claim. Be tangible. Repeat the call to action at the beginning and at the end. Be visually expressive, aspirational, and so forth. And obviously, don't remember the emotion that you're trying to sell. Especially when you're doing a campaign, negative emotions work really well. So, we're almost reaching the end. I wanted to tell you a personal story of mine. So, I was born and raised in Paris, and I wasn't raised in luxury. I come from a family of 5 children, 4 brothers, 4 sisters, and 1 brother, and raised by a very strong woman who really much told us how to believe in the world and just try. See what happens. You have nothing to lose. and be cheeky and always ask. Yes? So, with my love stories and dating stories, I had some fantastic stories to share, and my friend said to me, you should write a book about it. Because one of the chapters is called The Small Package, FYI. I'm still writing the book, so everybody's asking me, when is this coming out? It's called Love Resilience, which is about self-love. So as I was writing the book, I realized that this is a bit of a self-therapy. And I realized a lot of things that I'm doing the choices that I made about my love stories go beyond who I am. And I need to speak to my mother to understand how their story happened, but also speak to my father to understand the decision that they've made and why they're not together. But funny, you'd be surprised, when I started doing some research, I found out that my heritage I come from the black Hebrews that escaped the Egyptian empire, and I always behaved as a princess because I have royal blood. So when I said to my friends, yeah, that makes sense. But what was funny, when I started having a conversation with my father, understanding who he is, I realized there's so much of him within me. And so much of him I found within my sister and so forth. You might wonder, what the hell is she talking about that? That has nothing to do with marketing. But it kind of does. Because when you think about DNA and who we are, we often think that we're in control of ourselves. But sometimes the decision that we made goes beyond who we are. And if we look at our parents, sometimes they have the biggest impact in terms of who we become. That's the kind of thought I want to leave you with, and I hope that you enjoy my talk. Thank you so much.